The University of California, Berkeley campus has forever been a hotbed of leftist activism. I don't think that 34-year-old Casey Goonan was a student at UC Berkeley, but I gather that it's not unusual for adults who settle there to plug into that activist energy. For his part, Casey liked to agitate for left-wing causes that meant a lot to him through the publication of zines and anonymous postings on left-wing internet forums. But writing Marxist screeds wasn't enough for Casey. He was so fed up with what he perceived to be the injustice of the world that it was time to take action. Casey wanted to inspire the college kids who were otherwise so filled with anxiety that they needed a fistful of Zoloft and Lexapro to buy a used car or go to a job interview. Casey would inspire them to change the world. So in the early morning hours, Casey drove to the U.S. federal courthouse in Oakland, carrying 3 glass bottles filled with gasoline and paper towels as wicks. These are popularly known as Molotov cocktails. Casey threw rocks at the courthouse, hoping to break a window to throw the incendiary bottles through. But Casey apparently never threw a ball in his life. Sports weren't his thing growing up, and he kept missing his target. Eventually, security guards came outside and chased Casey away. Frustrated that his plans were thwarted by not playing Little League baseball as a child, Casey put the Molotov cocktails in a planter adjacent to the building, lit them on fire, and left the area. There was minor damage, but not enough to make the youth of America seize the means of production. Discouraged but not broken, Casey had 6 more Molotov cocktails in his car. He found a University of California Police Department patrol car parked on the street and placed a bag containing the bottles under the fuel tank. He lit the bag, ran away, and enjoyed the most beautiful explosion as the accelerants ignited. Surely this would inspire the youth to take to the streets after their weed gummies wore off. Sadly, no. It was just one burnt-up cop car among many perfectly functioning ones. Using an anonymous account, Casey hopped onto social media and wrote a posting explaining what he did. Casey wrote that the firebombing was done in retaliation against the police and the university to spark what he called a student intifada. He ended his post with, "Death to America, glory to the martyrs!" But with all of his planning and revolutionary intentions, Casey forgot to cover up the front license plates of his car, which were caught on cameras like 1,000,000 times that night as he was running around like a fool lighting fires. The police, the ATF, and the FBI executed a search warrant at his house, gathering all the evidence they needed to tie Casey to the crime. And Casey was nice enough to confess, telling the investigators what he did and his master plan to cause a Gen Z uprising. The FBI placed him under arrest. Casey pled guilty to federal arson charges with a terrorism sentencing enhancement. The judge will sentence him to somewhere between 5 and 20 years. What do you think a proper sentence for Casey should be? Please let me know in the comments, then follow my feed for daily crime stories. Have a great day, and be cool.